Hey guys, WantClue here. Hope all of you are having a fantastic day. We are back again finally on my soldering desk. But today we don't want to solder. We want to attach a new heatsink that I got myself. And then we want to see how the performance of them is compared to it previously. So currently I do have the Heatsink attached to my Bitaxe camera, as well as a small heatsink on the back. And it's doing a good job. We are sticking to the 85 to 60 degrees Celsius with it easily. It's not too toasty, it's not too loud, it's perfect. What I want to do now is I want to unplug it and we want to attach this new heatsink. So let's get started. First things first, this right here is, I think it's the 52 pi ice tower thingy called, something like that. So it's a nice small heatsink, and a cool touch here is what they have done to the top of it. If you take a look on it, can you see that? Engraved in the heatsink is the calculation for the maximum supply, which is really awesome to see. So yeah, now we want to remove the Heatsink. The Heatsink itself is attached on the bottom, so we need to unscrew it from the bottom, obviously. So let's remove these 4 screws really quickly here. It's not that hard switching over a heatsink to a new one, but while we do that, it's also a good thing to talk about what you can do in order to improve thermals of your device. Obviously you can use like bigger, heavier heatsinks. That's one thing, but another thing is to do from time to time a little bit of maintenance when it comes to your Bitaxe device. What I do usually is like every 4 weeks or so, I do take a look on them. I make sure that all the dust gets blown off of them, and then everything should be fine. Whoops, here we go. So we see, when we take a look on the ASIC itself, there's not that much thermal paste, which is also a good thing to know, that you need some proper thermal paste on your devices. And there are hundreds of different thermal compounds or thermal pastes available. What I usually use is this Arctic MX2. It's doing good, it's doing a fantastic job. I'll just apply a little dot onto the ASIC. That should be enough. So now this should have enough on it. And now what we need to do is we need to take a look on this heatsink. So I'll probably mount it something like that to blow the heat from one side to the other. Or should I do that? It looks really nice that way. So you know what? We will do it that way. This heatsink with these feet and everything else is available for purchase. So if you guys are interested in that, then I'll make sure to put you a link in the video description down below. Apart from that, I do recommend you guys to stick to this video till the end, because I'll show you with my thermal camera what the performance is, or what the thermal differences look like on these two devices. Usually one thing that I need to admit here is, like, I don't like having these custom 3D printed brackets because I don't trust 3D printed parts when it comes to heat. Usually plenty of you will now tell me, well, WantClue, that's not an issue, PETG or ASA or whatever the thingies are called. I'm not that deep into 3D printing. They all are really nice and they really have a good thermal resistance. It's not an issue, yada yada yada. Yeah, well, I get it, but I still don't trust it. I don't trust it as much as I would trust something else. Let's take a look on how this looks. This looks okay. So we see also we get a good contact here. And now the next thing that we need to do is we can use these spring-off thingies here. Let me grab 4 of them. So we do have them ready here. And maybe I want to apply it like that. Yeah, that's the better idea. So let me put them in here really quickly. It's just like putting them in there and forcing it through. Here we go. Now we need to make sure that we do align everything perfectly, and we should be able to easily snag it in here. And it's sitting really tight on it, so that's fantastic. Next thing I want to make sure to do is to remove the fan from the old heatsink. And I do hope that the screws that I do have with me are suited for that. Let me quickly switch my screw head to a different one. Yeah, this one's better. So here we go. The screws are probably not ideal, so let me get rid of them. And I should have new screws here as well available. All these parts, I mean, I got myself one of these kits. They do come with all of that ready to go, but I see, what the heck? These screws are not the correct ones. Give me a second and let me take a look on where the actual screws are. Maybe I don't even need that big of a fan, but I want to. And I probably should get myself a different fan anyway, because, oh no, that does fit, so that's fine. Now I just need to make sure that I do have correct screws. 1 second, I'm gonna be right back. Yep, here we go. So in this package are multiple different lengths of screws, and I just missed them on the other table. So here we go. These are the screws, they slide through that, perfect. And now I could, or I should be able to align it, but I do see that's not working. Like I cannot attach it, not like that. Maybe what I need to do is I need to put these standoffs from the bottom through that. But to be honest, I don't want to do that. So what I will do is I'll just try to screw it in from the top maybe. Or let me see, maybe I can force it a little bit through them here. Yeah, that's working. See, now it's just a little bit of force, and then sometimes things work. So number one, and this should be number two. Perfect. Now we do try it with number three as well. Yeah, just like I like it. A little bit of force, and that's also a little bit of the tricky part here. Like I'm not entirely sure if this is okay what I'm doing, but you know what? We will see that at the end, because I'll make sure to do a good thermal check. So this has been installed. Now let's plug it in. And let's see if it performs any better or not. Because what it should be doing a good job when it comes to this thing in general. So, you know what, I'll just give it a little bit of time, and then we will take a look on it afterwards. I'll also make sure that I do have another Bitaxe set up to it right next to it, and that we can check the thermal performance between both of them, as well as taking a look which one of them is, in my personal opinion, better. From the first glance of look, this bigger heatsink obviously seems nicer and probably a little bit more capable compared to the Heatsink. The Heatsink itself is a fantastic heatsink, but yeah, it's low profile compared to this huge one. Obviously, if you take a look like on the difference, it's like a massive difference. And the thing here is we have this blow down style. You blow down into the heatsink and then it exhausts through the sides, which is good. But this one directly is pushing the hot air away and not even close to the device itself. So maybe that's better. I don't know. We will figure this out in just a couple of seconds. All right, here we go. We do see the 52 pi ice tower. We do have a heatsink temperature of like 25 degrees Celsius, which is like room temperature, which is fine. We do have a couple of hotspots, especially on the place where the power is coming in. And if you now take a look over on the Heatsink, we have a heatsink temperature of like 47 degrees Celsius. And also on the Heatsink, we do have a couple of other heatsink or basically PCB hotspots, because the power is coming in and there is a lot of amperage. So that's usual. Sure, you could attach on these other heat spots a couple of these sticky heat sinks that you can get, like Raspberry Pi sticky heat sinks and stuff like this. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I doubt that the 25 degrees Celsius is actually the temperature itself. Maybe it's a little bit higher, but yeah, looking at it right now, it is looking fantastic, and I do like it. One cool bonus of it is also more quiet. So I really do recommend this heatsink. It's a fine one and it does a perfect job. So there's nothing bad to say about that. Both are nice, and depending on what kind of style you do like, choose whatever you like. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next one.